How wonderful it is to be in community and be here together for Shabbat. By popular demand, we return to this beautiful, incredible backyard of Sandy Morris in Danville, California. And again, we're Beth, I am Shabbat, with musical guest star and friend Aaron Gabriel. I am Judith Markowitz, for those of you who don't know me. And I am honored to be here with Aaron to lead services this evening. As you can see, we continue to wear masks and take every safety precaution so possible so Aaron and I could be here to lead services together. This week's Torah portion moves us into the book of Deuteronomy and the Parsha Devarim. In this Torah portion, Moses recounts the Israelites' episodes from the 40 years in the wilderness. Moses encourages the Israelites in their upcoming conquest of the land of Canaan. Just think about that for a moment. 40 years in the wilderness. How much have they gone through to get to this place? The battles, the togetherness of a people, and the fighting within the people, and then coming together again, and the fighting within, and coming together again. Perhaps this sounds familiar in the so many circles of communities that we each belong. Being in community can be challenging, but so very important. Tonight, Aaron and I wove music into our service that asks us to listen, to reach out to each other, to find hope in community, especially during these challenging times. Now, more than ever, we need our community. Later, I will be sharing a chapter called Community from one of my favorite books, Have a Little Faith, by Mitch Albom. But first, I'd like to begin our service with a bit of humor. I'm so confused. I don't know which Yom Tov it is. We're walking around in slippers like it's Tish B'Av. We're wearing masks like it's Purim. We're only allowed to eat outside like it's Sukkot. And we're eating fruits like it's Tu B'Shvat. Everyone is walking around with cleaning wipes like it's Passover. And we're eating meals with our families and sleeping until noon like it's Shabbat. So, what is this holiday? And when does it end? Because I'm ready to make Havdalah now. While we are all experiencing fatigue during these challenging times, we need time to laugh and to rejoice in the blessings of each day. We move into Shabbat by lighting the Shabbat candles. If you have already lit Shabbat candles or are lighting with us now, may you feel the warmth of being in our community and the blessing of our time together. As we light candles, I invite you to type in any blessings that you would like to share. Usually when we're together at Beth Chaim, we are all circled around the candlesticks, and people do share blessings. So please, share your blessings with us. We want to see them, we want to feel them, we want to hold you in our hearts. I want to share a kavanah before we light the candles as we catch our breath. The community of human beings is opening up on a scale that has never been seen before. New levels of spirituality are connecting. We are slowly learning that we are all one. We remember that we think and have chosen to believe goes out from us and connects us with others. We cannot move to new levels of consciousness if we remain stuck in old judgments, prejudices, guilt, and fear. May the lights of Shabbat allow us to pause, breathe, and embrace our community, both near and far, until we are one. Join with me as we light the Shabbat candles. Bring in the lights of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
These may not light. I will try them one more time. We'll see. If not, we know that we lit them. We said our blessings.
Should we enter in?
Yes, let's enter into Shabbat.
Entering in.
Entering in.
Settling down.
Settling down.
Opening up.
Opening up.
Gathering round.
Gathering round.
Entering in.
Entering in.
Settling down.
Settling down.
Opening up.
Opening up.
Gathering round.
Gathering round.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Entering in.
Entering in.
Settling down.
Settling down.
Opening up.
Opening up.
Gathering round.
Gathering round.
Entering in.
Entering in.
Settling down.
Settling down.
Opening up.
Opening up.
Gathering round.
Gathering round.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem.
Aleichem
Shalom.
We continue to welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. I know it might feel weird sometimes to be sitting in your house and not with us and singing, but you know, I invite you to sing and sing from your heart like we can hear you, and we'll be able to feel you in our hearts. And so we can be together and sing and welcome Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachai Shalom, Malachai Dehereyon. Bihi Melech, Malachai Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch. Barachem Shalom, Malachai Shalom, Malachai Eleyon. Bihi Melech, Malachai Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch.
V'chuni l'shalom, malachei ha'shalom, malachei elyon. Bihi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Tzichem l'shalom, malachei ha'shalom, malachei elyon. Bihi melech, malachei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Welcome among us, messengers of shalom, angels of the highest one. Come deep within us, majesty of majesties, the blessed Holy One. Come then shalom, blessing us with shalom, leading us with holy shalom. From deep within us, majesty of majesties, the blessed Holy One.
Perhaps you're outside while you're with us for services, or there is a window nearby where you can see the beauty of nature. If you're on a mobile device, perhaps maybe you can go outside and see the beauty in your yard or from a balcony from where you are. Or take a look behind us. While we were practicing today, and you may be able to see them during the service, there were baby deer running through the woods behind us. And so if you are not out in nature, take in what is around us and what is behind us. And we ask, from where does my help come? If we are seeking help, where might we find strength? Essa Einai, I lift up my eyes to the hills to find perspective and guidance during these challenging times. As we move further into our Shabbat service tonight, we move towards the Baruch Hu, our call to prayer. Aaron will lead us in a call and response. Baruch Hu, dear one, and then we will move into the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. One more time. Baruch Hu, dear one,
If you are able, please rise for the Baruch Hu. And if you're sitting and that feels comfortable, you are exactly where you need to be.
As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. And the blessing gives us strength to make our visions clear. And the blessings give us peace and the courage to dare. As we bless the source of life, so we are blessed. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Amen. Baruch Hu Adonai Amorah, Le'olam Vaed.
The Shema begins with an imperative. Listen. Just that word alone is a powerful call. Listening is not always an easy thing to do. More than the simple act of hearing, true listening requires us to open ourselves up to another's experience so that our hearts touch the hearts of others and we are changed by the connection. Please listen as Aaron sings a beautiful song by Rick Rett, Yeh Shalom. When we listen to each other, when we understand each other, when we love each other, there will be peace in the world.
When we hear one another, there will be peace in the world. When we understand one another, there will be peace in the world. When we love one another, there will be peace in the world. Yeh Shalom, Yeh Shalom. children are one family. Yea, shalom. Yea, shalom. Ba'olam. Yea, shalom. Yea, shalom.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vared. And you must love the one your God with all your heart, with every breath, with all you have. Take these words that I command you now to your heart. Teach them intently to your children. Speak them when you sit inside your house or walk upon the road, when you lie down and when you rise up. And bind them as a sign upon your hand, and keep them visible before your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Hashkivenu. The Hashkivenu prayer says, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. I invite you to close your eyes during this prayer and find a place that you have visited, a time in your life, a place where you have found shelter, a soft place to land. The hope is that this prayer will allow us to let go of the problems of the world, to let us sleep peacefully through the night. We hope we can do this every night, but we hope that at least on Shabbat, we can sleep peacefully through the night. Hashkivenu, Avinu b'shalom, ve'amreinu, malkeinu, l'chayim tovim, u'l'shalom, u'fros
move into the Amidah with a beautiful melody, Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. This melody is written by Alana Jagoda, who is local. She went to Buchanan High School, and now she's an incredible song leader, and she's a song leader and a service leader at a synagogue on the peninsula. If you haven't heard her music yet, get one of her CDs, download whatever we do these days in modern times. But her melodies are beautiful, and I invite you to take this in as we all prepare for the Amidah. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufiagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufiagi Tehilatecha.
Eternal God, open my lips. Let my mouth may declare your glory. Oh, eternal God, open my lips. Let my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufiagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufiagi Tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips. Let my mouth may declare your glory. Oh, eternal God, open my lips. Let my mouth may declare your glory.
Normally, during this time of Amidah, if we were together in our sanctuary, we would have some quiet time for Amidah, our standing silent prayer. If silence is where you need to be in this moment, stay in that place. I want to offer a kavanah for this time of silence. During these challenging times, where you may feel isolated, perhaps sometimes depressed, and we yearn to return to life as it was, this is a time to find peace on Shabbat. Remember a moment in your life when you felt a sense of perfection. Try to dwell on images of that moment until they are completely in focus. The visual image, the sounds, the physical sensations, the emotions. Do not rush this. Try to recapture that sense of perfection and think, this is my Shabbat. This is my Shabbat. We now offer a prayer for peace. Peace begins with our own thoughts and finding our way in the midst of chaos and anger or fear. Tonight, we send peace to all the troubled parts of the world, that we may change for the better and help bring peace and loving kindness everywhere. Please join us in singing this lively version by Nava Tehillah, Oseh Shalom. So I promised you a story. This story, as I said, is from the book Have a Little Faith by Mitch Albom. This story is actually called Community. Please listen. Having finished the honeydew, the Rebbe and I moved to his office where the boxes, papers, letters, and files were still in a state of chaos. Had he felt better, we might have gone for a walk, because he liked to walk around the neighborhood, although he admitted not knowing his neighbors well these days. When I was growing up in the Bronx, the Rebbe said, everyone knew everyone. Our apartment building was like a family. We watched out for one another. I remember once as a boy I was so hungry and there was a fruit and a vegetable truck parked by our building. I tried to bump against it so an apple would fall into my hands. That way it wouldn't feel like stealing. Suddenly, I heard a voice from above yelling at me in Yiddish, Albert, it's forbidden. I jumped. I thought it was God. Who was it, I asked. A lady who lives upstairs. I laughed. Not quite God. No, but Mitch, we were part of each other's lives. If someone was about to slip, someone else could catch him. That's the critical idea behind community. We call it Kehila Kedosha, a sacred community. We're losing that now sometimes. The suburbs have changed things. Everyone has a car. Everyone has a million things scheduled. How can you look out for your neighbor? You're lucky to get a family sitting down for a meal together. Although, on a side note, we have been able to sit together as families, many of us. He shook his head. The Reb was generally a move with the times kind of guy, but I could tell he didn't like this form of progress at all. Still, even in retirement, the Reb had a way of stitching together his own sacred community. Day after day, he would peer through his glasses at a scribbled address book and punch telephone numbers. His home phone, a gift from his grandchildren, had a giant black and white digits so he could dial more easily. "Hello," he'd begin. "This is Albert Lewis calling for..." He kept track of people's milestones, an anniversary, a retirement, and called. He kept track of who was sick or ailing, and called. He listened patiently as people went on and on about their joys or their worries. He took particular care to call his oldest congregants because he said it makes them still feel a part of things. I wondered if he wasn't talking about himself. By contrast, I spoke to 100 people a week, but most of the communication was through email or text. I was never without a BlackBerry. It's an older story. My conversations could be a few words, call tomorrow or see you there. I kept things short. The Reb didn't do short. He didn't do email. In an email, how can you tell if something's wrong, he said. They can write anything. I want to see them. If not, I want to hear them. If I can't see them or hear them, how can I help them? He exhaled. Of course, in the old days, he said. Then suddenly he was singing. In the old days, I would go door to door. I remember as a child when the Reb came to someone's house on our street. I remember pulling the curtain and looking out the window, maybe seeing his parked car out front. Of course, it was a different time. Doctors made house calls. Milkmen delivered to your stoop. No one had a security system. The Reb would come to offer a grieving family and comfort them. He'd come if a child ran away or if someone got laid off. How nice would that be if when a job was lost, a man of God sat at the dinner table and encouraged you? We are blessed with Rabbi Dan. Instead, the idea seems almost archaic, if not invasive. No one wants to violate your space. Do you ever make house calls anymore, I asked. Only if asked, the Reb replied. Do you ever get a call from someone who isn't a member of your congregation? Certainly. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I got a call from the hospital. The person said, a dying woman has requested a rabbi. So I went. When I got there, I saw a man sitting in a chair beside a woman who was gasping for breath. Who are you? He said. Why are you here? I got a call, I said. They told me that someone is dying and wants to speak to me. He got angry. Take a look at her, he said. Can she talk? I didn't call you. Who called you? I had no answer, so I let him rant. After a while, when he cooled down, he asked, Are you married? I said, yes. He said, do you love your wife? Yes, I said. Would you want to see her die? Not so long as there was hope for her to live, I said. We spoke for about an hour. At the end I said, do you mind if I recite a prayer for your wife? He said he would appreciate that, so I did. And then, I asked, and then I left. I shook my head. He spent an hour talking to a stranger? I tried to remember the last time I'd done that, or if I'd ever done that. I asked the Reb, did you ever find out who called you? The Reb said, well, not officially. But on my way out, I saw a nurse who I remembered from other visits. She was a devout Christian. When I saw her, our eyes met. And even though she didn't say anything, I knew it was her. Wait, I said, a Christian woman called for a Jewish rabbi? The Reb responded, she saw a man suffering. She didn't want him to be alone. She had a lot of guts. Yes, he said, and a lot of love. Now, more than ever, We need community. Opt to pick up the phone, set time aside to reach out to someone you have not spoken to in a long time, or perhaps someone in our community you don't know, just to check in. Don't know what to say? Start with, hi, I'm, fill in your name, from Beth Chaim. I know we don't know each other, but I'm just calling to check in. Do you have time to talk? And then listen. Just listen. May we all have the courage to move beyond our own silos and open ourselves to the blessings of the community. Kain Yehi Ratzon, so may it be. Amen.
If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. You may never see this moment or place in time again. If not now, if not when. I see something. Trouble in this land. Oh, I see sorrow. Trouble in this land. Although there will be struggle, we'll make the change we can. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when. Time again. If not now, tell me when. So we'll work until it's done. Every daughter and every son, every soul that ever longs something better, something brighter. It will take a change of heart for this to mend. Oh, it will take a change of heart for this to mend. Let miracles happen, ever shining now and then. If not now, tell me. If not now, tell me. Tell me when. I never see this moment. Wasting time again. If not now, tell me when. If not now, tell me when.
We now invite you to visualize the loved ones and friends who are in need of this prayer of healing. We include those around the world who are sick from COVID-19 virus. You can type the names in of your loved ones who are in need of this prayer if you wish. God of compassion, source of healing, God who blessed Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, we pray to you on behalf of Louis Levy, Steve Butter and Sybil Stewart, Daryl Davidson, Marty Bach, Tim Carter, Mark Garretts, Jason Moss, Don Messing, Cheryl Adler, Nancy Cook, Charlotte and Irving Markowitz, Craig Dixon, David Ben David Medina, Naama Levana Bat Abraham Sarai, Mildred Bernstein, Robert Glazier, Laurette Abrams, Savion Plum, Paul Head, Judith Danville, Naftali Ben Yilubi Shifra, Beth Siegel, Bilha Bat Eliyahu Dechaya, Sephora Rachel Ben Esther Viaryeh, David Ben Esther Viaryeh, Benjamin Nachshan Ben Esther Viaryeh.
Without judgment, without explanation, we are all God's creation.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, and give strength to those who lovingly provide them with care. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
I invite all those who are in mourning or observing a yard site to please stand for the mourner's Kaddish. Tonight we remember Jack Zuckerberg, father of Janice Frankel, Aharon Haskind, father of Paul Head, Sidney Rubenstein, father of Ellen Fisher and Dan Fisher, Belle Rubenstein, mother of Ellen Fisher and Dan Fisher, Marlene Mellis, mother of Brad Lawrence. We also include in this Kaddish all those who have died as victims of racism, as well as those who have died from COVID-19. If there are other yard sites you wish to remember, please add them to the comments. Yit Gadal V'Yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah V'Yomad Divrach V'Yutei V'Yamlich Malchutei B'Chayechon U'Vyomechon U'Chaye B'Cholte Yisrael Ba'agalal Uzran Kariv Imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Min Barach Leolam Olmei Yomaya Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitpa'ar V'Yitraman V'Yitnaseh V'Yithadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shmei D'Kusha Birchu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata B'Shirata Tush B'Cheta V'Nechemata D'Amiran V'Yalma V'Imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Mim Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Osei Shalom Bin Romav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael V'Yal Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Imru Amen. May their memories bless our days. May their memories bless our days. It's time for Kiddush and Motzi. you have your wine? Do you have your challah? I hope so. So join me as we sing the Kiddush together. We sing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bori hagafen, amen. L'chaim, and the virtual sip. So, before I unveil the challah, there was a little mouse in my house. And you'll see what I mean when I unveil this beautiful challah, or as Aaron says, when I say I have what?
It doesn't look half bad.
It doesn't look half bad. Ready?
Ready when you are. Ta-da!
Look how beautiful it looks. It doesn't look half bad. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. A couple of announcements. Please check our weekly happenings for all other events that we continue to offer virtually, so we can remain in community with one another. Community, hope, that is the theme for our Shabbat tonight. To be in community, pick up the phone and talk to each other. Invite someone for a social distancing walk that perhaps you've never even met before. We need to be in community together. I want to thank Sandy Morris again for, opening up this her beautiful yard to us.
Thank you, Sandy.
We've seen deer, and I don't know if you saw me smile because there was just this row of turkeys, and one of them got on the fence, and I thought, oh, that turkey might be coming to visit us. So we've been surrounded by nature. The trees are beautiful. I want to thank Aaron for joining me again.
Thank you, Judith.
It's our warm-up, I guess, for children's services for High Holy Days, not too far away. I also want to thank my sound man, our sound man tonight, and our engineer, Glenn Shabacher,
Thank you, Glenn.
known to those on Facebook as my 6'1" Eyes of Blue. And next week's services will be led by Drew Porter. And the following week, we welcome back Rabbi Dan and Zoe.
Yes.
We conclude our service tonight with a joyous song of hope.
This is a hope. Hope is still real. It's home. It's fulfilled. This is our time. We stand as one. Now never win. We must be strong. Our hearts turn to the breeze. Hey, this is the God. Hold us together. Hearts together. Won't the rest
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A sweet week to all of you, and we'll see you next week on Shabbat. Bye.